Starlink internet activated amid Iran protests. Elon Musk, CEO of SpaceX, recently announced that the company's satellite internet service Starlink would be activated in response to the US. According to Secretary of State Antony Blinken's tweet, the US is taking action to advance internet freedom and free flow of information to Iranians. The US Treasury Department issued guidance expanding internet services available to Iranians despite US sanctions against the country as protests erupted across Iran in response to the death of a 22-year-old woman in custody. A Treasury official briefing reporter said, "Our understanding of Starlink is that what they provide would be commercial grade, and it would be hardware that's not covered in the general license, so that would be something they would need to write into Treasury for." The US State Department spokesperson later said of the updated license that it was self-executing and that anyone who meets the criteria outlined in this general license can proceed with their activities without requesting additional permissions. After Elon Musk announced that his Starlink satellite internet system had been activated in Iran on September 23rd, two men climbed into the tiled roof of a residence in the Iranian city of Avaz and aimed a Starlink terminal into the sky. The device detected a faint signal for several seconds before it vanished. According to Saeed Zuzangar, a network engineer and one of the Iranian men, the men were attempting to assist an Iranian protest movement that was struggling due to a government crackdown on online communication. They gave up after 3 hours of tinkering with the Starlink kit, smuggled into the country on a boat from Dubai, unable to establish a satellite link. Mr. Zuzangar said, "We were disappointed and sad." He then added, "We were trying to keep the candles of hope lit in the darkest times of life." Elon Musk's SpaceX, formerly known as Space Exploration Technologies Corp., did not respond to requests for comment. It is unclear whether the Iranians' inability to establish a satellite link was due to user issues or the Starlink system's availability in Iran. The incident highlights the challenges that Iranians face in trying to maintain a nationwide movement protesting Iran's tight restrictions on personal freedom by using Starlink and other systems that claim to provide internet access that can circumvent government restrictions. Protests erupted weeks ago following the death in police custody of a 22-year-old woman arrested for allegedly violating strict laws governing women's attire. Since then, officials in the Biden administration have moved to allow expanded internet service from outside Iran in order to help sustain the protests. Mr. Musk's rocket company SpaceX has been building a fleet of Starlink satellites in low Earth orbit that provide high-speed internet connections. The service has not been available in Iran, which is heavily sanctioned, but the US, in response to the protests, the Treasury announced last month that it was expanding internet services available to Iranians. On the same day that US Secretary of State Antony Blinken tweeted that the administration took action to counter the Iranian government censorship, Mr. Musk responded that he was activating Starlink. The announcement raised hopes in Iran, but it also obscured the challenges of rapidly establishing an underground internet network in the country, according to political and technology analysts. The portable satellite dish in Starlink kits, unlike a fiber optic connection, communicates with a constellation of satellites that beam internet data to and from ground stations. A router is connected to the dish, allowing users to connect to the internet via Wi-Fi signals. Using the system to support the protests would necessitate quickly smuggling Starlink kits into the country, getting them into the hands of tech-savvy activists, establishing satellite links, and building out a network of users. A logistical challenge in a country as closed as Iran, even for US intelligence agencies, according to former government officials and activists. Even if enough terminals are activated, they emit an easily tracked signal when transmitting data, allowing Iran's security agencies to locate, shut down, and arrest the users, according to technical experts. Starlink is being developed by SpaceX into a large global business. In a June presentation filed with US telecommunications regulators, it is stated that it had over 400,000 Starlink subscribers worldwide. However, according to a map on the company's website, Iran is one of the few countries where service is not available. A spokesman of the United States State Department said that companies are already taking advantage of the loosening of export controls to provide internet services to Iran, but he declined to name them. Because normal internet access is frequently blocked by authorities due to protests, Iranians have resorted to using hotspots and virtual private network applications to circumvent the blockade on social media apps. Mr. Musk warned users about the risks of detection when using the system in March, not long after SpaceX made Starlink available in Ukraine following Russia's invasion. Unlike Ukraine, which supported the company's presence within its borders, Iran's government is not interested in allowing open use of Starlink terminals. SpaceX has also launched Starlink satellites that are linked via a laser communication system, a capability that the company has promoted. According to satellite experts, this system should allow for at least some internet connections in Iran. Mr. Suzangar's efforts to assist his friend in getting the Starlink system operational have left them both fearful of being discovered by authorities. For his friend, who bought the Starlink devices into the country, the strain has been too much. He told Mr. Suzangar a few weeks ago that he had sold both of the kits because he was afraid of being arrested. He said, "People have the right to access the internet." He then added, "Human rights cannot be denied to my people."